Hey everyone, it's Talkname, and let's be real for a second. High-interest debt is a silent wealth killer. It might seem manageable at first, just a couple of credit card bills, maybe a personal loan here and there. But trust me, over time, those high interest rates can absolutely drain your finances and completely derail your financial goals. We're talking about potentially missing out on buying your dream home, investing in your future, or even just having enough money to retire comfortably. In this video, we're going to break down the true cost of high-interest debt, expose exactly how it affects your long-term financial health, and most importantly, give you a clear, actionable plan to break free from it for good. I'm talking about practical strategies that you can start using today to regain control of your finances. So, if you're ready to finally ditch those high interest rates and start building a solid financial future, hit that like button and let's dive right in. First things first, let's be crystal clear about what we mean by high-interest debt. We're talking about those financial products that might seem helpful in the short term, but come with interest rates that can make your head spin. Think credit card balances, those payday loans that seem to trap so many people, and even certain personal loans that boast deceptively low introductory rates only to skyrocket later. Now, I get it, life happens. Sometimes you need a little financial wiggle room to cover unexpected expenses or bridge the gap between paychecks. But here's the thing, relying on high-interest debt for these situations is like slapping a Band-Aid on a much larger wound. You might get some temporary relief, but in the long run, you're only making the problem worse. Let me give you a real-world example so you can see the impact of high-interest debt. Imagine you've got a $5,000 balance on a credit card with a 20% APR, which, let's be honest, isn't even that uncommon. If you only make the minimum payments, and we all know how easy it is to fall into that trap, it'll take you over 10 years to pay off that debt. And get this, you'll end up paying almost double the original amount in interest alone. That's right, you're basically giving the credit card company an extra $5,000 just for the privilege of borrowing their money. Now, let's talk about the real financial burden of high-interest debt, because it goes way beyond just the numbers on a statement. First and foremost, you're dealing with the dreaded power of compound interest. This means that interest is charged not only on the original amount you borrowed, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods. It's essentially interest on top of interest, and it can quickly snowball out of control, making it feel like you're drowning in debt. But here's the kicker. Every dollar you're shelling out in interest is a dollar that you can't use for something else. We're talking about missed opportunities to invest in your future, save for a down payment on a house, or even just build a comfortable emergency fund. That's the true cost of high-interest debt. It robs you of your financial freedom and prevents you from building a secure future. And as if that weren't enough, high-interest debt can trap you in a vicious cycle. Because you're constantly paying off interest, it becomes incredibly difficult to make any significant dents in the principal balance of your debt. This can make you feel stuck, like you're working your tail off just to tread water financially. Look, we all know that money matters can be stressful, but dealing with high-interest debt takes it to a whole new level. The constant pressure of mounting balances, those relentless phone calls from collection agencies, and the feeling of being trapped in a financial hole, it takes a toll on your mental health. We're talking about increased anxiety, difficulty sleeping, and this constant sense of dread that can permeate your entire life. And don't even get me started on the impact on your financial stability. High-interest debt eats away at your income, leaving you with less money to cover your essential expenses, let alone save for the future. This lack of financial flexibility can make it nearly impossible to handle unexpected emergencies, forcing you to rely even more on high-interest debt, which, as we've established, only digs you deeper into the hole. It's a vicious cycle that can feel impossible to break free from. But trust me, there is hope. In the next chapter, we're going to dive into actionable steps you can take to regain control of your finances and start living a debt-free life. All right, let's get down to business and talk about how to break free from the clutches of high-interest debt. The first and most crucial step is simple. Acknowledge the problem. Don't bury your head in the sand or avoid looking at your statements. I know it's tempting, but trust me, it only makes things worse. Sit down, gather all your debt information, and be brutally honest with yourself about how much you owe and at what interest rates. Once you have a clear picture of your situation, it's time to create a debt repayment plan. There are two popular methods here. both with their own advantages. The avalanche method focuses on tackling the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. This approach saves you the most money on interest payments over time. Then there's the snowball method, where you start by paying off your smallest debt first, regardless of the interest rate. This method provides a psychological boost by giving you quick wins and building momentum as you pay off each debt. Next up, consider consolidating your debt. This involves taking out a new loan with a lower interest rate to pay off your existing high-interest debts. It can simplify your finances and potentially save you a significant amount in interest payments. But remember, consolidation is only effective if you commit to paying off the new loan responsibly. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You have more power than you think when it comes to dealing with creditors. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Reach out to your creditors and ask for a lower interest rate or work out a more manageable payment plan. The worst they can say is no, and you might be surprised at how often they're willing to work with you, especially if you've been a responsible borrower in the past. But let's be real, tackling debt effectively requires some changes to your spending habits. It's time to get serious about cutting non-essential expenses. Trust me, I'm not saying you need to live like a monk, but take a close look at your spending and identify areas where you can cut back. Maybe it's eating out less, canceling subscriptions you don't use, or finding more affordable entertainment options. And if you're really serious about accelerating your debt payoff, consider finding ways to earn extra income. This could involve picking up a side hustle, selling unused items online, or even negotiating a raise at your current job. Every extra dollar you earn can be put towards crushing your debt and achieving financial freedom faster. Look, I know dealing with high-interest debt can feel overwhelming, but trust me, you've got this. Remember, taking action today, no matter how small, is a massive step towards a brighter financial future. Start by implementing one or two of the strategies we discussed today. Maybe it's creating a budget, picking up a side hustle, or simply calling your creditors to negotiate a lower interest rate. The key is to stay consistent and celebrate your progress along the way. Every dollar you pay off is a victory, and as you watch your debt shrink, you'll gain momentum and motivation to keep going. So, what's your first step to tackling high-interest debt? Share your commitment in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more financial tips, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you in the next video.